We spoke to Mr. Pramod Arora on how this has impacted business for an exhibitor like PVR. I mean, whether or not Footfalls will come off, whether or not this will affect the content pipeline and movie releases will get pushed back. This is what he had to say. Listen.
Absolutely, Divina. There's no question in the question that you're asking me. Now, probably one of the things that is really coming to the Indian side of the world is that the temperatures are basically going towards 27 and 28 degrees, which seems to be a case that, this will really pass by very, very fast. And it may really not be affecting any numbers even in the short run. There was the scare was there. The scare is still there. I would not say that the scare is not there. But, it's seems to be a case wherein the temperatures are rising across the country to the levels of 27, 28 degrees, which would predominantly mean that the numbers may not really see any lack out there. So that is on one side. The other side is that, yes, as a responsible company, we have already introduced the measures which has been recommended by WHO for assembly buildings, which have been there in play at most of the cinemas for the last 10 days. And that is taking a preventive measure out there so that, the fumigation to alcohol-based, hand sanitizers, to the masks all being worn by the staff and so on and so forth. But it looks to be a case wherein, COVID-19 or the coronavirus may not really be hitting the Indian domain that seriously, considering the rising temperatures. But in case of a global economy lockdown, the national economy cannot be left, and so can the multiplexes not be left behind.
Okay, so then Mr. Arora, while we're talking about this being a temporary phenomenon, even for this period of time, which is a shorter duration of time, and we hope it is, there is a possibility that releases themselves get pushed back. So then it becomes a problem of content. There's not good enough content to crowd pull to a theatre, because movie makers may be of the opinion that this is not the right time for a release. And therefore may push back their releases. We've already seen one release getting pushed back.
So, absolutely agree on that point also. But the release that you're talking about having a pushback had 65% of the revenues coming in from China. So if you look at the Indian content, it doesn't seem to be a case wherein the Indian content guys are pushing back. And if that content remains valid, there is no question that, the numbers will not be coming in, because unless, again, as I suggested, unless it becomes a global economy lockdown resulting into a national economy lockdown, and then finally resulting into the cinemas also getting locked down. But that doesn't seem to be the situation today. It seems to be a situation under control. It seems to be a situation wherein, all the assembly buildings, the malls, the shopping centers, they're all seeing normal footfalls. There doesn't really seem to be any exaggerated sense of an epidemic or a pandemic in nature for the country, so which is a positive. But undoubtedly, I do not disagree with your point of view that's suggesting that if it happens to be a global economy lockdown, it will result into cinemas also getting affected into India.
Okay, so just to get in a sense from you, Footfalls can get affected, tune how much, if this were to prolong itself?
If it becomes a pandemic, then, it is very difficult for me to forecast the numbers that you're asking me, because
I'll tell you,
it will only be a case of a global economy lockdown. That's what I foresee.
Okay, so
the global economy lockdown, then it's very difficult for any of us to project any numbers.
Okay, so brokerages are pegging in a footfall impact of 7 to 8% if this continues.
Well, I would say that is really unfounded, considering the fact that since the last 4 days, wherein there has been a lot of talk about this, the footfalls have not seen a deep dive. And not only that, there has not been a single case. There's not been a single case across shopping centers. None means none whatsoever. So theoretically, that is suggestive of the fortunate side of the country, whichever way we have to slice it or dice it. It seems to be, the blessings of God, besides, the fortunate side of the country, that it is basically hovering around a higher temperature zones, which is helping the country not to get really affected on a pandemic or an epidemic level. And yes, of course, there was an exaggerated focus coming in from so many things, like this getting closed down, that getting closed down, the schools are closed. But I think now this focus would shift to the financial markets, considering whatever happened on to the banking side yesterday.